Welcome to Beyond the Veil podcast, where we talk everything that's beyond the veil. So come on in and enjoy. Welcome back to Beyond the Veil, everybody. Once again, this is Zach, Mr. Eyeliner from the Horror Supernatural Chop Shop, and also the Locked Soul Behind the Veil, and my two beautiful ghouls who really are the runners of the veil. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Megan, the curator of oddities and creepy little goodies and crystals. Good to see you guys back after. Hope you missed me last week.
We missed you, and I'm happy you're back. And it's
Hearts.
Mariah here, and I am the knower of things and book reviewer, and now I guess I'm a movie reviewer too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
And
so
I
much,
have a pumpkin patch pal coming, and I'll have to explain to you guys what that is on. You'll find that on Patreon.
but you're so much more than that, and so is the beautiful one up there as well. You're both really amazing keepers of the darkness. But what's tonight's episode about? All superstitions.
Superstitions.
And my dear Miss Rain, would you like to start off a definition of what this means of a superstition? And I will go after you.
For me, a superstition is something that's usually passed down through folklore and generations of beliefs that are loosely based off of different cultures coming together, and they get passed down and then they get changed again. But yeah, superstitions are simple things that you believe in.
Yes, it is. And my belief of what superstition's definition is also very similar. It's beliefs and practices rooted in basically ignorance, sometimes fear. And it's out of fear that people become superstitious, and often dealing with the whole idea of good luck is being turned into bad luck. And it causes so many problems within the world that people worry to the fact that they become insane themselves because they believe in such a superstition. If you know what I'm
Yes.
saying. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, to
Very
build
much
on
so.
that, I think all of what you both just said, and then also coincidence.
Correct.
Just pure coincidence and happenings, and we'll get to that later and how you can see like just the coincidences of what happened, I guess, that made people believe in these superstitions.
Megan's right on, because I'm going to tell you what she just said is this term overthinking. Superstitions also can deal with, like, you know, what some older people say, I don't want to see a doctor and I'm good and in good health. You go see a doctor and they say, oh, you might, and then all of a sudden all you're thinking their whole week is, oh my God, what's wrong with me? What do I have? You know?
Hey, remember, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
That is 100% a superstition.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Also, shout out to my father, who is probably listening to this. He is definitely that man. If I don't go to the doctor, then there's nothing wrong with me. Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me something's wrong with me.
No, you ever have like that uncle, that aunt, where you like, can we see the results? Can you see your blood results? And like you give it to him like, Zach, you got to stay off this. You shouldn't drink this. I'm like, okay, you're not a doctor. Leave me be.
Yes.
Now, are you ready to get into whatever?
Yes.
We all know. If you've never heard of superstitions, guys, I don't know why you listen to our podcast, but anyway, superstitions are so fucking popularized for decades. I want the ladies to please go through their favorites.
Favorites? I like the salt one because if you spill salt, it means that it predicts an argument coming your way, right? So you spill it on the table, you knock it over, it predicts an argument. But if you throw it over your shoulder, it's to ward off any evil and to blind the devil.
Left shoulder.
Left shoulder.
Yeah.
I went right. I meant left.
No, it's fine. It's probably reversed on screen. But
And it fucking
yeah, the salt one, I know we have a lot of witchy listeners. They know that.
Oh,
What was the saying from Practical Magic?
Oh
Plant
my
rosemary
God,
on your front
when I went
porch.
to work. That was on this morning when I went to work.
Yeah.
What a sign. Oh my
Rosemary
God.
on your front porch. What was, I forget the other one, and then throw the salt over your left shoulder. I forget the other one. I'm a really bad witch for this.
No, spill the salt over your left shoulder was like the one they got into a little fight about in that movie.
Yeah.
That was great.
No, I mean, so there's, you know, a lot of different like bad luck ones. The most popular is always, the black cat crosses your path, and that has a lot of roots behind it. The salts, absolutely. Um, what was the other one? The ladder.
I think, yeah, the latter.
Mm.
I really wanted your cat to be in the video for that when you said that, though.
No, she's not in here
That
right
cat is
now.
gorgeous. Like I want that cat is so sexy. I want that cat to be in the photo and the video for YouTube. Oh man. So
Zach,
that
what
like
is one of your favorite superstitions?
one of mine truly is. This is funny because like audience will know this now. These two did not know this, but I'm the guy, so I'm gonna have to be the one saying this one. Itchy palms. Ooh. Yeah, itchy palms is something that's very much believed by many men in culture and women, and moms teach their sons this too. Itchy palms is believed that itchy palms foretelling, basically giving you bad futures, basically bad luck. You're not going to be rich. When you have itchy palms, if you want to go do a scratch off, don't do it. If you want to go bet on something, don't do it. If you want to ask the girl to marry
Yeah.
you, do not do it.
I
So,
heard itchy palms, and if you rub them or scratch them with something like on something green, it's supposed to bring you good luck. Like I never heard it told your way. I've only
Yeah,
heard
because
it the way I
it's
just
a
said.
way that women teach
same.
their sons. No, itchy palms is something from like a lot of like middle ground culture. Like, okay, we're gonna go back to it again. Armani culture, or like say things like that, or
Okay.
Jewish American traveling culture. But yeah, itchy palms was this thing that was a big curse on men. If you have itchy palms, you're never going to find love. You're never going to get fortune.
I grew up with a lot of natives, and itchy palms is always the thing. They always say, go buy a lottery ticket right away. Like, go place a bet, go put a 20
Different
on a slot
culture.
machine.
Yeah. How many of them became millionaires, though?
I mean, no, but they say it's
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
Another one that I heard is just simply that, like, money is coming in, whether that's like a bonus on your paycheck or you find a 20 on the ground, something like
There's
that.
yeah, these are positive like things you could talk to. Yeah, that does, but that's more like that's something that you feel in your heart. That's kind of a premonition, in my opinion. It's something that you feel. It's not like I barely happens to most people. You have to be a true believer of your heart. You have to
I
truly
guess.
believe. You know.
I did say
I
2 weeks ago that I had itchy palms, and I was just like, ooh, maybe that's a good thing. And then a couple of days later, I did get double checks I wasn't expecting, which
Maybe
is,
the
it
women
was
that's
money that
good.
was
positive, maybe the
owed
men.
to me,
But
but
Meg, I did say it was bad for men. That mothers told the men the stories, and it was always bad for
yeah,
men. I didn't say anything about women.
Yeah.
fair.
But since you're mentioning
Haha.
women's good luck, I'm gonna mention something you guys love me telling you the other night. Another like great one that you guys didn't know about was trimming nails at night. In some cultures, yes, basically cutting your fingernails or toenails at night is believable to be in bad fortune or causing you never being able to have a baby or you never being married in a lot of cultures.
I had never heard about that.
Yeah,
And
it's
No.
then when I
very
start
much. I have a lot
studying
of friends that know
cultures,
about that one. I know women who do not cut their nails at all.
when I started looking up different cultures and superstitions, it came up a lot for Japanese and Chinese too. Like
Yes.
they're very big on that.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's weird.
I've never heard it until research.
I think it's
Never
a
So
heard it.
story. Your mom doesn't want you to go after the wrong woman. Like you hear all these superstitions from that mom. Anyway, go on.
I am very interested actually in like Japanese and Chinese like superstitions. And there's a couple of other cultures out there that almost I don't know how to phrase this in like a way that doesn't sound like super negative, but it's almost like their lives are based around superstitions and things that they do. Like
Yes.
it's very deeply rooted in their culture, more so than other like cultures are. Like American, like just flat out regular Americans,
Yes.
we have a bunch of superstitions, but it's not like ingrained in us. It's more of like a silly thing,
No,
you
but
Yeah,
know?
like
I think you're correct at what you're saying, but you're not being negative at all. It's if it's in your
no.
culture belief, it's in your
Yeah.
cultural belief. If you grew up in a place, say in New York, you we never most men I know, women I know, we never sit to our backs to our door or a window. Ever.
Mhm.
you always have to make sure your back is covered. That's kind of our superstition. Everybody has a superstition in their own world where they don't know it's a superstition. Like, you
Yeah,
probably do
definitely.
things that to me is weird, and that's your superstition.
I do a lot of weird things.
And you
Yeah,
probably
but
won't be the only person.
going back to like silly superstitions, like step on a crack, break your mama's back.
I
Remember
think
that
that's
one?
like the first one that was learned.
I think that
Yeah, that's
whole
the
that
first
whole superstition gave me and many other people OCD.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Second one I think I learned was opening an umbrella indoors is bad luck.
yes.
Oh, I don't fuck around with that shit.
Go ahead, Megan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
All right. Since we're getting in here a little deeper, okay?
Okay.
We're getting
So,
in deep.
deep. Okay, so knock on wood, right? That
Yeah.
is one of the ones that I learned. So like it was mainly like older people that would like say something and be like, "Well, I think it's gonna rain today," and they'd be like, "Oh, knock on wood," you know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do really bad on my play. They're like, "Knock on wood" right now. I'm like, I don't know what that means. And like, did have a little keychain that said "knock on wood" on it, and it was literally just like a little wood thing that I carried around forever.
I'm
I don't
quite
That
know.
is
sure that
so awesome.
I'm quite sure there's probably an 80s or 90s porno called "Knock on My Wood,"
Oh my God.
I believe it. Not
based
featured
on a
I
here.
believe it
superstition.
too. Speaking of porno,
Whoa.
Oh boy,
Okay. Jeez.
let's
How is
go.
this a joke? Whoa.
I
Oh my
want
This is
God. Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. Right.
I
Whoa.
want to turn the clocks over to Zach on something.
Yes.
Let's talk about Friday the 13th for a second.
Well, all right. If you want to, Friday the 13th, it means so many different things to so many different people. But what I know Friday the 13th, I studied since many decades ago. I kind of wrote something on it. It's a thesis on it. The Romans, it comes from the Romans, and it's the first to believe that the number 13 is a unlucky, rather not lucky number, but actual curse that has been surrounding the Last Supper, if you know, with Judas, who was the 13th of us. And then
Yeah.
you see other people
Yeah.
who's doing it after Jews, like the 13th had become dinner parties. People have died at the 13th dinner party and certain things in the different times in the Roman days as well. In addition, Friday the
Right.
13th of October, um, you know, a big king, Philip the Sixth over there of France, arrested and put to death hundreds of Templar Knights. That was the whole Templar Knights massacre on the
Yeah.
13th because he thought on the 13th it was his day that he needs to kill these Templar Knights or his reign would be over. So since then, if 13th was been the Roman culture does believe the 13th of any time is basically about blood. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
not lucky. It's never been lucky. It's always had violence attached to it. The writers of Friday the 13th, the movie, wanted to do
Which,
that, but they weren't smart enough to use it.
which we'll get into more because we'll
Yes.
have a special thing planned.
Oh, there's gonna be a whole episode on Friday the 13th.
I
I
don't know
can't
when that'll
wait.
be, but I don't think it's too far away, guys.
Oh, it's never too far away. Even if it happens in
Never.
like a freaking March or something next year, like it'll
But guys, you
happen.
promised not to play the Stain song too far away, okay?
You know, another one I just thought of, like, and I noted it, but I just forgot about it, but was like celebrity deaths come in three. That's another thing I learned growing up. Like when one
Oh yeah.
hits, two more are close to
It's
popping
No,
so
in.
crazy when it comes to celebrities.
that's definitely a thing. So I think I just said this the other day on the phone with you guys. Is that I was like kind of counting down my life and I was just like, okay, I had one really bad event well, not so bad, but not good event happen to me. And then I
Yes.
had sort of a catastrophic event happen to me. And I was like, am I just sitting here waiting for the other shoe to drop for that third thing? Or did it happen? And I'm
Uh,
just like,
I think you've had all of the bad luck you can have
No,
I
already for the
think I
think
got
start.
my threes.
I think Megan, what you had happen to you was it kicked you in the ass. It was questioning you: would you get back up or get back down? You got back up and rose like a phoenix.
Yeah. We don't we
Hence
don't
the
Yeah.
have to we don't have to get into that, but it goes into
Yeah.
threes. And then it's also where if you follow Wicca at all, they also have that rule of three. And
Three.
the number 13 is also very significant in that. So that's like a subculture also, where they have basically their threefold rule. If you do anything bad to somebody else or work on bad magic or anything, that comes back to you, you know, 3 times is bad.
That's not only Wicca.
Everybody,
That's a lot of culture. Yeah.
yeah, some
Yeah.
cultures do follow it. When witchcraft specifically, Wicca is a huge one for that. Not everybody subscribes to it, but still, that's like a subculture type, you know, like superstition.
Well, my
Yeah.
superstitions and me don't match up because like I have superstitions I believe in growing up, but you do the good things
Oh,
for people
I'm here.
and you do it for positive reasons. You'll get bad fortune, but I will accept the bad fortune honorably. But the bad fortune will turn into even the most positive of beautiful things following if you can get through it.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to do something that you know is right. You know you're going to be, you know, as they say on TikTok, unalive.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for banning all our inspiration and our experience and all our knowledge to make reviews happy.
Honestly, I kind of like it because I get triggered sometimes too. I deal with a lot of unsavory things to talk about, helping people, whatever. So I don't mind protecting people's triggers when it comes to certain words. But then it's
Uh,
also just like the irony of saying words like unalive just kind of sounds so
yeah.
silly that it's fun.
Okay,
It's like
but
how I just say like knife just to be silly.
how do you do a segment that's been popular for over 15, 20 years now that you call my top 10 kill counts of my favorite horror movie? And people
You can't
want
use skill count. And
you
the
can't
live
use
counts for
unkill count.
Yes, my
They will
unaliving.
cringe. They will cringe.
oh, I do have to show since we did talk about Friday the 13th. I'm wearing my
Hell
jersey.
yeah.
This is why we don't podcast on TikTok. Anyway,
Second favorite of slasher.
who's your first?
Yes.
Michael Myers?
Okay, so I guess they're kind of tied.
Leatherface.
I can't pick. No.
No, a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
Freddy.
Leatherface either. Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
Remember
my
she?
least favorite. Least favorite.
I should have known. I
I
thought about it.
I grew up watching those. My mom had me watch them way too early. Um, now they're just hilarious. If you watch, please watch. Now that the internet exists, back then there wasn't the internet, but there is just all of this like behind the scenes stuff. And so like characters like in makeup and everything going behind the scenes like playing with like the dead bodies and like all of this it's so hilarious. They had so much fun on the like filming.
Are you talking about like the 6 hour Never Sleep Again documentary that I love so much?
No, not that, but they just behind the scenes like footage that just made it to the internet and everything. Like fucking
Oh,
Robert, why can't I think of his name right now? He's my favorite of
England.
all. Yeah, Robert
England.
England
England.
of all the Freddys. But yeah, so back to superstitions.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose Freddy could also be a superstition with you know, the nightmares coming to life and all that.
yeah. A lot
Oh
of people.
my, let's not talk about nightmares. Sorry.
Bad ones
We're
lately?
gonna have to. No, yeah, that and I had a dream last night. I was telling him earlier, Zach,
Yeah,
that I kept dreaming. This is gonna be edited,
yeah.
but
You're gonna have
probably,
to.
but yeah, that I kept dreaming about freaking moldy bread. Every time I tried to make a fucking sandwich, it was moldy, and it was like moldy. Even buying brand new, I pulled it out and it was mold, and oh, it was crazy.
Yeah,
That's an
moldy
intense
bread.
dream.
I was just
Yeah.
like, I told her a lot. As long as it wasn't burning and your heart wasn't hurting, you're all right. You know.
I want to look into that
It's
later.
I already looked into it. I'll tell you the break.
Okay.
All right, sorry. We can go back to superstitions now. I had to
Yes.
get that out.
We're almost to
Yeah,
break anyways.
yeah. Before we go to break, let's all three of us start off, and we'll continue on the break with superstitions in Pacific cultures. And I know you two really want to talk about that. I have mine. I want to talk about. It's just
I'm
kick ass.
excited to learn some things too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to learn from two of you. Yeah, stuff I don't know.
Another superstition is about doppelgangers. Do you guys know what doppelgangers are, I hope?
Oh yes. That
Yes,
could be a
I'm
whole
Fred.
Okay, for
episode.
people That might end up being a whole episode, but the superstition with that is if you see your doppelganger, and there's always one thing off about your doppelganger. The hair color might be a little different, the shirt it's wearing could be a different color, but there's always something a little off. The eye color could be different, but it's your impending doom. If you see them, you're gonna wind up dead.
I have to say, I think I found the doppelganger of mine once or twice, and I thought I was out for the count. Yes.
People have
No,
sent me pictures, and it's not like I can see a lot of similarities. I have heard stories though of like people being like, "Hey, were you at like blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "No, I've never been there." And they're like, "Well, I swear I saw you. Like I said hi to you on the bus, like whatever. You didn't respond to me. Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "It wasn't me."
right?
Yeah.
And then I had the same thing in Chicago when I mean, when Vince is from Chicago and he he called me or messaged me, I can't remember. He's like, are you here? Like, I just saw you. Like, you're definitely here, right? I'm like, no. Like, he thought I was joking. I'm like, no, I'm not in Chicago at all. He found my doppelganger.
I've had
I
that happen. Like, Zach, you didn't tell me you were at this festival. And I'm like, what festival, dude? I'm literally at work in New York. He's like, dude, you're not in Jersey at the big festival. And I'm like, no. He's like, the guy has the same hair. He looks like you, tattoos, everything. He's like, come on. I just called out Zach and he looked around. I'm like, that's not me, dude. I'm at work.
To be fair though, younger you could have, you and Zach Bagans could have been like each
Oh,
other's doppelgangers before the tattoos.
that's gonna be something that happens
There's
to
no
you
way.
later. No way.
No, you haven't seen the picture I saw.
All right, so
I just talked to somebody about him today.
I'm gonna make an executive decision on behalf of all three of us. You guys can get mad at me later. We can yell about this. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. So I'm gonna say right now, before we switch and do our break and everything, is that if we're speaking on a topic and you have your own stories based on something we're talking about, something that's similar, maybe it's an offshoot of what we're talking about, like if you have like weird doppelganger stories, send them in to our email at beyondtvcontact@gmail, and we'll read them, and hopefully we can either put them on the Patreon or just on our TikTok page or our YouTube or whatever, just reading.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram too, and just reading like user submitted stories.
And Meg's great idea, fucking beautiful idea. What I want to do
Hmm.
even further with that, Meg, is like basically if you guys can find a picture of your doppelganger, we can pair it on screen
Yeah.
and do a live with you guys on Instagram at night one time. That'd be amazing.
Let's go.
That would be amazing. Can you find this doppelganger of mine, please?
We could. The
Come
internet
on.
exists. We could find them.
Yeah, I'm telling you, internet sleuths help solve crimes.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, if you guys have like stories you want to submit, like we'll figure out a way to sneak it in somewhere here, and yeah,
Or
I
if you
think that'd
have
be fun.
questions
You
that you
hear
want
how
to ask any of
you how
us.
you two talk and I talk about when we get the Patreon starting up. It's gonna be kick ass when people start interacting with us.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have a lot of fun. Trust me.
Yes. Absolutely. And with that, I think we will take a break for our sponsors, and you can learn how to contact us and all of that fun stuff. And we'll be back to talk about the cultures, like the specific superstitions in different cultures.
And possibly more
Yes.
potty talk.
Always more funny talk.
Always.
Before we dive back into our conversation, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Olivia Noir, the go-to brand for edgy yet refined goth and alt fashion. Designed by the incredible Johnny and Olivia Noir, their pieces blend dark elegance with modern sophistication. Perfect for those who love bold fashion with a touch of rebellion. Check them out at olivianoir.com to shop online or to find a list of in-person retailers. Add the code BEYOND10 at checkout for 10% off your entire purchase at olivianoir.com. Thanks again to Olivia Noir for their support. Now back to our discussion.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Superstitions. I'm going to talk about some Japanese and Chinese superstitions.
Because we're gonna be talking about certain cultures.
Cultures. Yeah, we're going to be doing different cultures this time around. Sorry, I'm like scatterbrained because I'm really excited about talking about some of these because, but like one superstition that the Chinese have, their New Year, and I actually talked to my crystal ladies the ladies I get my crystals from, because they just
Yes.
celebrated the New Year. So things that for like the Chinese New Year that they can't like that's superstitious to do is like you shouldn't deep clean because you sweep away, or you should deep clean your house before the Chinese New Year because you sweep away all the negativity, the bad luck, and you make room for good fortunes. Scissors and knives should be hidden during the New Year's because the cutting into things. I'm sorry, I had to make real fast notes because they talk really fast. The cutting into things
I know.
would cut off your good fortune. Seriously though, it
Yeah.
cuts off good fortune. So scissors and knives are not used during the traditional celebration. For the first 2 days, you should not wash your clothing. Like it's bad luck to wash your clothing, so make sure your clothes are washed and everything. After the second day, it's acceptable to wash your clothing because it brings bad omens.
Yes. I know, to build on that, I don't know specifically which culture it is, but I know another one has washing your clothes will bring death.
Yes,
Like you're washing away
that
like your soul essentially.
during the New Year, they take that completely. Another one they told me is that you don't gift clocks over there.
Really?
You
I'd
do
never
not.
heard that one actually. What?
Yeah, because that's bad luck for like you're sending one off. Like to be done. So you don't gift clocks. They avoid the number four because it's similar in their Mandarin language to the
None of
word
these.
death. Yeah, none of those. It's bad luck to cut their noodles because long noodles mean good luck. And then, like you
Yes.
guys said, the no clipping of the nails, they brought that up too to me. And when they take their shoes off in their house, they face the toes pointing out to ward off any bad spirits that would come in.
This is why I like refrain from going to any of these house parties back when I was a teenager.
They find it also disrespectful to point at the moon because of the moon goddess, and the changes will bring bad luck. Like if you're pointing up at her and the moon, that she won't bring good fortune to you. So it's bad luck for that too.
Fuck, that was fucking
So
different. I did not know
ones that
that.
like kind of sorry, go
I
ahead.
never knew that. The clock thing freaks me out though, big time now.
Does it really?
It does because back in the day, I think a lot of soldiers in
Clocks are
America,
weird.
yeah, like clocks. Like I love clocks. It's anyway. Go on. Freaks me out.
And in the same with Japanese, four is also a bad number, but so is nine because the words are close to death and pain. So
Yeah,
nine
Mhm.
represents pain over there. They don't, the Japanese culture don't sleep with their head facing north.
true
It's
story.
I
very
did not know
similar with
this.
feng shui.
It's because the deceased are laid to rest that way. And it's bad
Hmm.
luck. So I didn't know that. Like when I was doing all this and, uh, to them, breaking a comb is just as bad as breaking a mirror. Like it's worse.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Another one that you not finishing your rice is bad luck, and not standing your chopsticks straight up in the bowl, that's bad luck too.
Yes.
Well, I don't eat that food, so I'm good.
Hiccups are a sign of bad omens, especially if they're very frequent. Maybe that's my issue. I have hiccups like every day,
You do?
sometimes twice a day. I do. I always have hiccups. I
I
wonder if
But
that's
your
like,
hiccups are absolutely adorable, though. My hiccups sound like really, really gross, and yours are like a little like chibi cartoon. Like they're so cute.
yours sound gross. Mine sound like I'm coming out of the grave and I'm like doing hiccups. It's bad.
That's what I
oh my
mean.
God.
Yeah,
No, mine are cute, but I
I,
didn't know that. I was like,
mine are not
wow.
cute.
When you talk about like positioning and everything, like I didn't actually think about this until you said it, but feng shui is sort of a superstition because they say if you have your
Mm.
bed facing towards a bathroom, then your soul is going to be like flushed down the toilet. If you have
Why the hell
your
would
Yes.
you want your bed facing towards the bathroom when you take a shit in?
Well, if you have like a small like one bedroom apartment or a
Yeah.
studio or something like that, you know,
Okay, no.
but all of those things, and it's like you shouldn't have mirrors facing your bed or the foot of the bed because, your soul will be like taken,
Yes.
and all of
Especially
those
if you
things.
pass away.
Yeah, no, I believe in
Yes.
that. I do believe in that. Yeah,
And I
you
didn't
haven't
realize
that.
how that was a superstition actually until you said some of these.
Another one that I found interesting was that the women who are born in the year of the fire horse sign
Yeah,
bring misfortune to their whole entire family.
Oh, right.
Like,
If that's not.
that's freaky. Like, I'm like, because well, I'm a fire ram. I don't know, but I don't know what I would be in their culture because based on their charts, I maybe I'm a fire horse. Yeah.
some of the things with superstitions actually turn into like a next episode of ours, curses. It
Yeah,
does. It does.
Yeah.
It does really go into it. Yeah.
it definitely does.
Well, like going from there, I want to talk about like say, I love to hear about the homeland, and I don't really like to say this, but yeah, I've been to Tel Aviv. I've been to Israel before, and you learned a lot when I was out there. And it's very much talked about when you're like having fun with your friends, with their folklore and their curses and their superstitions. So, like honestly, sitting at the corner of a table and sipping over or leaving a purse or leaving something on the floor, that is after seeing something that after you do that, it's disrespectful. You will then see something horrible. And some popular Jewish superstitions believe that it goes beyond that, even. It might curse you unless you find a way to make up for it. And then you have other really Serbia. Serbia is weird, man, with their superstitions. And I love it though, because I looked at a lot of Serbian too. Spilling water behind someone is believed to bring them good luck and you bad luck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a
That
lot.
is something I didn't know.
Yeah, it
Yours
was
are a
something.
little more definite. It's
Yeah,
not just like, this happens. It's like, this is what happens for everybody involved.
yeah, like people truly live their lives and trying never to do that. It's crazy to me. Oh, and another great one. I actually have to get off the path of that one now. In Italian, in honor of my friend Chad, we talked about this a lot. Toasting with water is considered bad luck, and it suggests
Mm.
wishing the person you toast with will be drowning at one point in their life as their death.
Yeah,
What
I
happens if
was.
it's all you drink?
If you toast with water to somebody, it's a sign of you giving them a sign that their future is going to be of drowning. You're cursing them.
So, specifically, still water. If you use like regular tap water, you can toast with like a sparkling water. It is less rude to do so. Well, I
I
don't.
don't know if you live in
That's
like Sicily.
Sicilian?
Yeah, it's Sicilian.
Yeah, it was a
Oh wow.
Sicilian thing that I was taught, that is that. So if you toast with still water specifically, it's less rude to toast with like a
Yeah,
sparkling water, I
it's like
guess.
okay, even if you did with still water.
I
Yeah.
just, you know what? Drink the wine. You're
I
adults.
have heard that. Yes.
Just,
Well, even pregnant
it's the
women can have
best
wine, so
wine.
there's no reason.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right, sure, that's an urban
And I
legend
think
anyway.
they can actually, I think their drinking age over there is a lot younger than ours.
All of Europe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 16, 14. I don't remember.
14 in Germany.
When I was
Yeah.
supposed to go to Italy and I didn't go because I couldn't get on the plane
Well, you have
for
to understand
school, I remember
they're
we had
smarter than some places.
my parents had to sign papers saying that we were allowed to have wine because we were of age. So that was when I was 16.
Mm,
That was my high school year at 16. And
that's
Everybody, you didn't hear that, okay?
missing a year.
And Megs, any cultural superstition that you are very powerfully caring about?
Yeah. So I grew up, not a lot of people know this about me. A lot of my family is Native American, Mexican Native American. I just happened to, get the white side of the family, but I was raised with a lot of these superstitions and beliefs and everything. So one of the biggest ones is owls. And I think this crosses over pretty much every like native culture. So seeing an owl, it's pretty 50-50 depending on which part of the culture. Um It's usually a sign of death or a bad omen just in general, some sort of misfortune. But then owls are also hairbringers of wisdom and intuition. But one thing, and I'll talk about the other culture too, they also believe this, is that owls are shapeshifters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So when you see an owl at night and it comes to like your door like that and you can hear it and it's hovering over you, looming over you, it's because of it being a shapeshifter, it's bringing you that misfortune, that death, like those bad spirit energy.
Is it, I don't mean to cut you off, but I actually have a question. Is it based on tribe?
Yeah, so there are certain tribes that believe that owls are just peaceful wisdom, the wise old owl. We've
My
heard that.
grandma,
Yeah.
she's Blackfoot. She was Blackfoot and loved owls. She had them all over the house. Loved them.
Yes.
That's why I was asking if it was like based on like tribal
Yeah, and
beliefs.
then there's some
Awesome.
tribes that are um not. Like I said, it's very
Yeah.
50, it's very like 50-50 spread across, where you are like culturally across the United States. But I think everybody's sort of heard, both ways when it comes to owls. That's a big one.
I
Um
didn't hear the bad one ever until, you know, I just knew the good way.
Yeah, like, the reason I know that is a lot of like native gangs in certain places in Canada and America, especially upstate New York, they use that as a sign of like intimidation. If you find a dead owl on your doorstep, that's not a good thing for your life.
mm,
Uh, if
Yeah.
somebody,
so
why would you, poor owl?
that's gonna bring me into another one here in a minute. So also in a lot of native cultures, they believe that if you kill a spider,
Mm-hmm.
that it's gonna rain. That is another superstition. They say don't kill the spider, it's gonna rain. So the last big one that I have before we go into my other culture here, which is Appalachian culture, and there's a lot of crossovers between the two of them, is whistling at night.
I
Yeah.
You do not whistle at night. You're gonna bring in the shapeshifters. I live in Wisconsin, so I won't say one of them because they exist. Um,
Yeah, they
Want me
they
to
do.
put it.
say it?
What's the TikTok name? The Windy Boys. There we
Oh,
go.
geez. Don't.
I'll say it.
No, please don't. No, please
No,
don't.
we
Okay.
don't need to give
Not
them
me.
credit.
I
No, we
have
don't
to
need to
go
give them
and take
credit.
my dog
Move on.
outside tonight. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so that it brings in bad spirits. I'll call them the Windy Boys if you know what the TikTok terminology for that one is. So in Appalachian
You're
culture,
woke.
they also believe, because the Appalachian Mountains, and we'll do a whole episode on that one, some weird stuff happens there. And the natives knew that. That was their land originally, and that's where there is a lot of crossover that the settlers that came in there and took that place over as their own.
Hmm.
Um, they hold that to be true also. They know that's now ingrained in their culture. You do not whistle at night, which goes into what are they whistling at night? If you're familiar with Appalachian culture at all, if you've ever heard of haints, one of the things is painting your house haint blue. So haints are a type of creature that lives in Appalachia. So they paint their porches this color that's supposed to mimic water because they won't cross over the water, and that's supposed to stop them.
I would never make fun of them for that because I believe in that. Yes,
Oh,
Hmm.
no. No, no,
I
no.
do. I really do. I'm like,
Um,
no.
Also, when it comes to the haints, one of the things that they believe, and haint is sort of more of like a catch-all term for just the creepy things in the night, those skinwalkers, whatever. It's sort of more of their terminology for all of those things. So it is kind of a catch-all. But so one of the things that they do is they'll take cans, bottles, whatever, and attach them to their bushes and trees. This is so that the haint will stop before getting to your house. And because it's almost like an OCD type creature, it will
Mhm.
count those items before coming in. And hopefully, the hope is that it will count these things and then it'll realize that it's about to be dawn and then it'll disappear. They also will leave leaves, twigs, like all of those things, like on their porch and not sweep them up until daylight because they will count those also. And that's supposed to be like a protection for them.
I would never
Also,
sweep my porch again.
that's what I'm saying. I usually don't. But speaking of sweeping, if you are going to sweep the outside of your house, you sweep it onto your back porch and out your back door to get rid of the negative energy. Never out your
Yeah,
front. Because the front
yeah.
door brings in the things and the back
What happens if
door.
you rent? Does it matter if you own or rent though? I got rent. Like, yeah.
No,
How
it
am I
doesn't
getting
matter. Yeah, that's your
really? I
homestead.
rent. It's not my place. I rent.
Your name's on the lease. That is your house
I
and protected. So also for them, they have the black cat, the salt, the general things. But brooms comes up a lot, and this ties back around to all of the other superstitions with brooms. So if your broom falls for no reason, that is supposed to be, sorry, that is a sign that something unexpected is going to happen. Usually somebody is going to like appear in your house. If you want to get rid of unwanted guests, they say to stick your broom like bristles out. If you are moving from place to place, you're supposed to get rid of your broom because it's supposed to bring in all the bad dirt and bad energy. There's a lot of stuff revolving around brooms. It's very witchy. But one of
very
the
Aussie.
things, yeah, right?
Yeah, you got my reference.
Yeah. One of the cultural things that I was talking about earlier with coincidences is if you see the bottoms of the leaves like turned up, like the leaf is normally like this, and it's flipped upside down, that means rain's coming. And to me, that's a
Yeah.
coincidence because plants, react. So there's sort of like a scientific
Well, since
side
you
to,
say it, like, the whole terminology, like, you haven't heard the term rainmakers. Rainmakers use that to determine.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's
And
native
then
culture.
also to tie back when you're talking about birds and like the owls specifically, if a bird hits your windshield, your car, anything like that, it's supposed to be
Your
like a
house.
messenger of death.
Yeah, no
It's
way.
saying that
Okay,
something's gonna happen.
so that's weird. I'm at my parents' house right now, and the last time I was here, twice a big black bird tried to, it almost broke the window. I was like, it was the weirdest
That's
thing I've ever seen.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And
And then
you're
another Appalachian one that I remember is don't rock an empty rocking chair.
hmm,
If the rocking chair ain't rocking, don't come a knocking.
No,
there's all
it,
sorts of really creepy ones.
yeah, because it's said to bring back the spirits that have died if you
Hmm.
rock an empty rocking
Don't rock
chair.
it.
Definitely. So out of all of the superstitions, out of all of the cultures aside, what's everybody's favorite, or what's a superstition that you do like compulsively or religiously?
I will let the ladies go first.
Always knock on wood. Like, I always knock on wood. And another, oh, this is so embarrassing. I do the cha I used to do the chain letter thing.
That is, oh my gosh, that is, my brain didn't even go there. Okay, so
Yeah.
for our younger listeners, when there was
I
AOL and Messenger, we would get emails that would say a picture of a girl, and it would say, "This is Sally." And Sally, whatever, and there'd be a whole background story about her. And if you don't forward Sally's story, Sally is going to come to your house through your window and she is going to murder you and your entire fucking family, your cat first.
Yes.
and
If you don't do
listeners
it by 12:12 a.m.,
and
like,
listeners, I can tell you, I know exactly what he's talking about, and I was from the same decade. And what I would do is goodbye, delete, and I'm
yes,
No.
fine.
I have forwarded some of those, and TikTok is sort of bringing that back a little bit, where they're like, this is this beautiful spiritual message, and, if you don't like, follow, whatever, and share to lock it in, then something really awful is
Oh
going to happen to
yeah.
you.
It's when you're doom scrolling, as I call it. I come across those.
Yes. I'm like, nope, I didn't see it.
Nope.
Is that the one? Was that your superstition, Megan?
No,
You
but
had
I
to
didn't
do it.
even think about that because I absolutely used to send a couple of those. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no,
I love
mine.
that.
What's yours?
Okay, so Two specifically, okay? So I talked earlier about like the under the ladder, definitely knock on wood. I still do that. That's like ingrained
Oh,
into me. But one that I do is I won't split the pole. That's
guys,
supposed
that's
to
not a technical
cause
term, okay?
it is not. So when you're walking next to somebody and you like walk past like a light pole or something like that, or walking into a store, you know how they have like the safety poles or whatever. If like one
Yeah.
person walks on either side, I will not do that. I actually will dead stop if somebody goes around the other side and I'll walk around their same side. Is it supposed to bring separation or even death in between two people?
Yeah.
And I have anxiety attachment, so I can't do that. If I'm walking somewhere with you like that, I'm not gonna split the pole. I won't do it. And then a friend of mine actually gives me shit because we drive around all the time. Um, is I'll lift my feet going over railroad tracks when we're in the car. And if I'm ever walking,
Why is that?
I will jump over them. It's another death thing. So
I
specifically,
used to play on railroad tracks. Oh my God, maybe this
no.
is why I am like
My
this.
mama told
Yeah,
me never to play on railroad
yeah,
tracks, and I
everybody.
didn't.
She was in Little Rascals, if you don't remember. Anyway.
They say they say if you don't, then you will never find your true love, or you'll never get married, or it can even bring death, is what
Oh wow.
goes along with the railroad tracks. And then it's just been something that I did. And I guess a third thing would be I hold my breath going past cemeteries because then otherwise the souls will catch you. I just did that when I
So
was a kid.
tuck your Chinese and Japanese culture tuck their thumbs in when they go past or they're in cemeteries.
I've
That's
seen
easier
that
than
so
driving
many
my
videos.
breath.
So funny. It's so yeah, I've seen that.
It's because if they don't, in one, if, especially if their parents are still alive or if they're parents themselves,
Hmm.
it's supposed to kill off one of the parents if you don't.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah. What about you, Zach? What's your
Well,
favorites?
as Megan mentioned, anxiety. My anxiety is this: I always feel like because I do an installation job in real life, and I'm carrying mirrors and stuff I have to install. I'm so afraid. I like my guys like make sure if you break this, no, we'll never. I'm like so serious about it. Like you guys said earlier about a mirror in front of your bed. Now, glass even is a reflection of a mirror. Never break glass or break a mirror, because I truly do believe you won't be talking to me tomorrow. You'll be talking to something that's in my body now.
But it was
I do.
7 years of bad luck.
No, there's
Uh,
superstition that like somebody can enter your soul if you break a mirror. If you look
I
in the
never
mirror,
thought of it that way.
a lot of
We need to
people
do a whole
if
episode on
they
just
a
mirrors.
mirror, they punch a mirror, right, and the mirror breaks. That's That's an opportunity for something to come out, take over your position.
Like Oculus demons?
Yes, that is a real superstition. So like
All
I
right.
always say, punch a wall, not a mirror. Never do
Never
that.
heard of that one.
I'm
No,
so scared of it. I'm very
it's
scared
normally
of that.
just 7 years of bad luck, which I probably have about 28 years of bad luck on me. So,
I'm sorry. Jeez. But
you
also, like,
know,
I'm very like, OCD. I will never open an umbrella inside. I mean, I go back to the Egyptian culture where so many Egyptian people would like the rich of the Egyptian culture people. I'd still follow practice they do. You never
yeah.
dare open an umbrella inside. You disrespect the family name. You disrespect yourself. We don't want to be around you. But me personally, you open an umbrella inside, and that can cause misfortune for everybody around you.
I've never done it. And in fact, I don't know if this is a thing, but I will never like close the umbrella inside either. I've seen a lot of people do that and like shake it off, and I don't like that either. Somehow it feels wrong.
You have to edit in Taylor Swift, shake it off right there. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Do shake it off. There's your
And
Just
here
edit.
comes the lawsuit.
There
we
you go.
went into all of that. You guys have seen so many cool movies growing up, like I do, like superstition movies. Just name one or one that you want to talk about. I'll start it off for you guys. Like one that women have seen. This one hasn't seen. I don't know if you've seen it. Moonstruck with Cher, Nicolas Cage. That's a superstition movie. Like another
A
one, but I
long
love it.
time ago when I was a kid, I saw it. Only once though.
Oh, everybody I knew
I
grew up
don't
and saw it.
remember. I'm pretty sure I've never seen that.
I like Cher.
I gotta say, my favorite of all time is The Serpent and the Rainbow. Wes Craven, Bill Pullman, the Haitian culture of superstitions, curses, voodoo, everything else.
Yeah.
one of the best movies of superstitions and curses combined I've ever seen.
You just took mine because I've seen it because of the voodoo Haitian
It's
voodoo.
such a great movie.
I haven't really come across like a lot of movies. I'm sure if I really like thought back, I might, but the only one that came to mind immediately was Candyman. And it's because I'm absolutely terrified of Candyman. This isn't the first time, and this will not be the last time that I will say this. But I mean, it's a superstitious movie talking about, like the
You
monster
know,
hiding and what happens if you call him
from the
out.
superstition, if say I'm on a camera just with you right now, I put a mirror in front of the camera and I had you say that 3 times in a row.
No,
And that could be it, you know?
it won't happen. I'll summon some Bloody Mary, and maybe in a future episode we'll talk about some other games and creepy things that
Maybe.
you can
Yeah.
do in front of a mirror, but not Candyman. Ain't gonna happen. Tony Todd will rise up from the freaking grave and haunt me specifically. I promise you.
I'll be waiting for him to. We'll hang out again, party again. I miss the man. Rest in peace, Tony. I miss him.
Absolutely.
Come on, girl. You have one more in you down there? You got another one you want to talk about superstition? Come on.
Me?
Because I stole yours.
You took mine, and that's the only thing I racked my brain for because I'm so freaking. I
Well,
mean,
real
I
quick
guess
then.
Witches of Eastwick, but that's not really superstition, even though they did superstitious stuff in there.
It is superstitious. You're right.
I
It
mean,
is.
yeah. That falls in
Practical
line. That's
magic would
very
be another one.
I was gonna say that falls in line with practical magic.
Okay,
Because
we're
they
So
talked
those two
about
would be mine.
God damn.
the blood moon, where instantly she sees a blood moon, she knows something's wrong.
Yeah,
So I mean that's definitely
and
very
they.
superstitious. So, fun fact before we sign off into all of that is the blood moon does cross cultures and was
Okay.
actually so terrifying to a lot of cultures that it was used as a war tactic for
Did I know?
other mainly like Greek and around that area that was like really good at tracking all of like the celestial movements and everything. If they would
Hmm.
know when there was going to be a blood moon, they would plan the war based on it so that the other team would retreat.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The enemy would retreat
the
and they would.
enemy, or
But
yeah,
using superstitions to your advantage in war is a beautiful,
I
smart
mean,
move.
that's insanely smart to
Yeah.
use like the celestial everything in a big superstition like that and like track
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Feel like we're going to war on this time and like no, no we're not. You retreated. Whoops.
You gave up, buddy. Goodbye. But like, no, remember, Max, you and I were talking about something. I think that you were gonna ask her something. So ask her like something. I think you were gonna ask her like, what's going on Friday, right?
Wait for what?
You're gonna ask this one down here what's going on Friday. Remember?
no, we're not.
So I'm gonna
You are
say,
you
you
are
ready
so
for it?
right.
Happy
Happy
birthday, my groovy
birthday.
baby America.
Happy birthday, little girl.
Happy birthday. Much.
Thank you.
Beyond the veil loves you. Yes, everybody wish this beautiful lady a happy birthday this coming Friday.
Thank you.
So, happy
It
birthday, my
is.
girl.
And you can see her blushed out face because Friday the
And
video
all
version
the balloons
drops.
are for you.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I even have a beautiful quote before we end off for you as well for your birthday. You ready for it? It's from this great author of mine growing up, and I think you might have heard of her, Joyce Carol Oates. A daydreamer is prepared for most things. Remember that.
A daydreamer is prepared for most things.
And Joyce Carol Oates has wrote great novels like Foxfire, Zombie, Foxfire, the movie starring Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So remember, you all here believe in it. If you're a daydreamer, you're ready for the world to enter you. You can do anything you want.
Exactly. And
I
on
love
that
that.
note, if you need to reach me, you can find me on TikTok or Facebook under Amariah Rain. And you can also contact us at our email if you need to get a hold of me. Megan, where can they find you?
My handle is Megaroni and Cheese on pretty much everything. Otherwise, you can always contact us on our regular Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok page. And Zach?
Right now, it's exciting to tell everybody. If you go on Instagram, Beyond the Veil is connected with so many horror movie lovers and other kinds of groups. You can join us in groups with people so much. Beyond the Veil on Instagram is the place to be. Beyond the Veil,
Oh,
TikTok is the place to be.
I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to. Before you finish out, you got to tell everybody what's going on with you.
Okay, so what's going on with me is I'm going back into the world of Mr. Island. I'm going to start doing SFX again. I'm going to start getting people, like, say, somebody on this certain show here into some movie sets in the near future. And I'm going to start creating stuff that we can get into certain projects. And possibly we'll have some great makeup artists as guests on the Patreon and directors as well. And it's all because I have talented ghouls like you two in my life inspiring me. And also, I want to get back into it. I see so much world that needs happiness and needs art again, and I want to do that. And you want to look for me, Mr. Eyeliner, Zach, Mr. Eyeliner. Please support my Mr. Eyeliner pencils. They're very much supportive of the whole anti-bullying movement and LGBTQ plus movement. We are donating money, actually, currently, if we do make sales, to stop people from being honestly picked up by ICE. And that's the new thing I really wanted to talk about. If I can make $500 on sales in the next 2 months, I'm donating $350 to a fund to stand against helping people who have been in this country and they're not illegal. We deserve to help others.
Always, every chance we can get.
But have a conversation with all three of us, because we'll be starting to do some live soon, right, guys?
Yes.
We'll be everywhere. Megan's hair will be all on your face.
And Megan, what are you working on? Tell everybody you're doing at your shop before we go.
Mostly just bones. I got into 2 local shops and I've just been creating all of the bone art I can possibly create. It is actually a lovely little shop if you were anywhere in traveling distance in Wisconsin. It's called Bones in Jars. You can look it up. He also has a website. It is a collection of artists just like myself, all different types of things. There's crochet, masks, paintings, drawings, like actual physical bone products like mine. He does classes for like bug pinning, which are only $25 a class. So if you're in the area,
oh, wow, that's
it's
awesome.
absolutely amazing if you wanted to start off small and getting into stuff. It is a beautiful little community, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork. And yeah, so support your starving artists and sustainable art.
Yes, exactly. And your website is?
Charm Craft Shop.
Awesome.
And I've seen this woman create some crazy stuff this week when she was not on the weather of the goodness, and she created some amazing things I can see here in my job shop. You guys can't even understand. She's a talent. I think her
those are what he wants.
Perfectly.
I know. I'll find something cool.
And these are my eyeliners. You can get them. Zach, Mr. Eyeliner on Instagram. The Horror Supernatural Chop Shop on Instagram. Hit me up.
And featured on his face.
I will help you out. Discount.
And if you need me to do a book review or anything for you, you can hit me up on TikTok or Facebook, Mariah Rain.
Yeah.
And wish her happy birthday on Friday.
Yes. Birthday week.
Good night, everybody. Have a good week.
Good night, ghouls, and have a great week. Protect each
other
in
guys.
the dark. Good night.
Until next time.
We hope you enjoyed the episode of Beyond the Veil tonight, and guess what? We hope you all stay safe in that world. It's dark out there, and you don't know what hides behind the darkness. Be brave.